Welcome back to my Final Fantasy series where we're covering the main story and themes continued in the 4th entry. This is the very first Final Fantasy I ever played, back in the day, when it was known as Final Fantasy II. The North American release and ordering of the games were different back then. It gets weird. But replaying it as an adult and with the new experience of the prior entries, I was curious as to what my own take would be, and how well the stories and characters hold up. Which characters would be more prominent now or more understood? And most of all, what are the themes explored and to what extent? So today, we're facing redemption in Final Fantasy IV. Major spoilers. We begin as Cecil, commander of the Red Wings of Baron, as he relieves the city of Mysidia from their water crystal, on orders from the king. He expresses guilt at the slaughtering of innocents and the life path of darkness he chose to defend the kingdom of Baron. The Dark Blade allows him to sacrifice some of his own life force for special attacks. A new and welcome addition that emphasizes the power he's sworn his life to, a trait that was not implemented in the original. You might notice the script was revamped for the Pixel Remaster. The originals didn't leave much out, but what is included here does help to portray more complete and complex characters. Kane's upbringing and motivations are the earliest examples of this, and the brotherhood between Kane as he comes to Cecil's defense and shared consequence sets the stage for future tragedies.
I'm jealous of you.
I'm watching you, motherfucker.
This is also where we meet Rosa, as she goes to Cecil's bedchambers to comfort him.
Huh?
Together, they're ordered to deliver a package to a nearby settlement that turns out to be destruction. The pair slay a summoner's dragon to gain entry, resulting in the death of a small child's mother.
Oh, not again.
Again.
The child's retaliation leads to the splitting of the pair, and Cecil's immense guilt compels him to take responsibility of caring for Rydia. He gains her trust by defending her from Baron guards. Cecil also learns that Rosa followed him, but has fallen ill with fever, and may die unless they acquire an antlion's sand pearl.
Got it.
On this quest, we meet Tella, who's journeying to take back his daughter Anna from the Prince Edward of Damcian. But the Red Wings of Baron bomb and loot the fire crystal as our party arrives. This fuels hatred in Tella for Edward. You spoony bard.
Ouch! It hurts me. Duh.
After some punishment, Edward tells the party of Golbez, the newly appointed commander of the Red Wings, by the Baron King. Tella vows to assassinate Golbez himself and departs. After curing Rosa, they seek to defend the next crystal and meet Yang on the way. But his castle is ransacked too. Golbez and our best friend Kane re-emerges to beat our ass. Rosa intervenes and is captured.
This is mine now.
And as we're licking our wounds, Leviathan attacks.
Help! I can't swim!
And we're alone once again. Cecil seeks refuge in a nearby town, a town all too familiar. He learns that to defeat Golbez, he must become a paladin, as darkness cannot defeat darkness. It's during this trial they reunite with Tella, who seeks to reawaken his latent memories of great spells himself.
A new power is rising.
Hey!
See guys? The path of revenge yields great power. But his transformation begins to kickstart the main theme, redemption. To defeat the darkness within is a battle Cecil must face alone. We quickly learn that each attack forces a powerful reaction. The only way to overcome the darkness is not to attack, but defend. After he understands this, the light refers to him as son, and Cecil is reborn a paladin. This moment always feels epic. From the journey up to the mountain, to the two-part preceding boss battle, the revelation, the transformation, and the lingering mystery of the true nature of the light itself. And that we start off from level 1 again. It all puts us in Cecil's mindset, that we're starting a new journey. What can we do with this new power of light? What new strategies can we employ? Will Rosa still be attracted to me? Such a great scene, that's always been one of my top gaming moments. And it's capped off with everyone kissing our boots when we return to Mysidia, to really sell the gravity of our transformation. and fulfill a bit of our savior power fantasy.
Bow to me.
Moving on, we travel back to Baron and dethrone the imposter king. Pollum and Porum sacrifice themselves to save the party from squishing into paste, and then a negotiation is initiated, the last crystal in exchange for Rosa.
Give me back my game of God.
With the help of the Spoony Bard, we conquer a cave imp to retrieve the crystal, and are taken to the Tower of Zot to initiate the trade. We have a confrontation with Golbez, and Tella casts Meteor. It doesn't work, but it weakens Golbez and frees Cain from mind control. Tella, being driven by hatred and rage, has failed. Thus, darkness cannot defeat darkness. When all the crystals are lost, it's brought to our attention that there's a whole nother stack of crystals in the underworld. So we meet the dwarves and try to help them defend it, but our asses are beat again. We're really bad at this. Except this time, Rydia saves us. An adult now and raised by monsters, she's strengthened her power to summon and honed her black magic. Her new, monster parents have taught her to move beyond her past and help those that have wronged her, for the greater good. Her capacity to do so is a redemption in its own right. A few quests and sacrifices later, and we're out from the underworld. We meet Edge, Prince of Eblan, more on him later, who help us attack the Tower of Babil and retake the stolen crystals.
Seriously?
But we manage to fuck it up and find ourselves stuck in the underworld again. Cain betrays us once more and takes the crystal for Golbez.
You son of a bitch.
The Mysidians summon the lunar whale capital ship and we fly to the moon. These guys have really been coming through for us after doing them dirty at the start. We meet Fusoya, a Lunarian, and he reveals the true nemesis, Zemus, who plans to destroy life on Earth to take over, and that Zemus has been manipulating Golbez to summon the machine that will do it. The Lunarians originally created one of the moons to slumber peacefully until humans evolved, and became breedable. You think I'm joking. Eventually, Fusoya's brother, Kluya, fell in love with an Earthling, leading to two offspring. One is Cecil.
We're gonna die!
The other, that makes Fusoya our uncle. Kluya has been bestowing power and guiding people of goodness into helping our party to counteract the actions of Zemus. The nations of the world have banded together to stop it, and our party returns to help. Another confrontation ensues and Fusoya frees Golbez from mind control. We also learn that Golbez is Cecil's brother, and because he was already inclined to darkness,
Wait, what?
he was chosen for manipulation by Zemus. But this doesn't really track to me, because let's not forget, Cecil was a Dark Knight when we picked him up. Perhaps Dark Knight doesn't imply evil? I don't know, let's just run with it. But Cain is free once again, and Edge might just kill him. But Rosa steps in and convinces the party to forgive Cain, again, excusing his actions due to mind control. Anyways, the two Lunarians head to fight Zemus.
Stop right there, criminal scum!
Aye!
To which we follow. They somewhat succeed, but fall to the evil spirit Zeromus, the embodiment of all the hate and rage of Zemus. But with a bit of aid from those we've helped along the journey, and we're redeemed yet again. We get another attempt to conquer evil, and manage to eradicate it. It's noted that despite our victory, so long as evil resides in the hearts of men, Zeromus will always live. Fusoya and Golbez go to slumber with the Lunarians. Golbez knows he cannot return to Earth, but he intends to make amends with his return to the light and potential sacrifice. He'll continue his redemption elsewhere. Before Golbez departs, Cecil struggles, but ultimately forgives him.
Good night, motherfucker!
During the ending scenes, we see the themes of redemption cap off the story of our heroes. The twins are saved and continue their studies. Edge returns to become King of Eblan, a responsibility he previously turned a blind eye to. Yang, after recovering from his sacrifice, assumes King of Fabul. Edward is still crying, but also helps the people of Damcyan. The dwarves, because they helped with the worldwide war effort, have free access to the surface. Cecil and Rosa celebrate their marriage and coronation as the new king and queen of Baron. And finally, Cain is absent as he seeks atonement for his misdeeds. Nearly every character faces some form of redemption. At the start of our story, most of them being in a bad way. They're full of hatred and jealousy, darkness and regret, lust and inadequacy. Flawed characters that reach an epiphany until they can atone. The themes of redemption showing that no bad action is too severe for redress. If you messed up, make it right. The theme is reinforced by their arcs. Cecil held on to doubt and regret. He also grappled with the consequences of blindly following orders. His journey lands him at Mysidia, reminding him of his horrid actions as he receives help from those he wronged, and then having to shed the darkness to save others. Rosa is there to comfort and encourage him.
I'm going to kill you?
Daddy, chill.
But she doesn't necessarily develop much more beyond that, serving mainly as a static character and as an object of Kane's attention. She always forgives, allowing others to be redeemed through her. She's the guide. Kane struggles with identity and of jealousy to Cecil's love and success, disrupting his purity of heart. This weakness he carries allows for his corruption by Golbez. He's never fully redeemed by the end. Golbez is likely where Cecil's path was going, but even he has a path to redemption by the end, and he's forgiven by our party for the atrocities he was forced to commit. Rydia we basically covered. Edward loses his lover and has to learn to move on. He has to learn how to manage his cowardice, and that there are other ways to redemption that don't involve direct confrontation. Tella's rage cost him his life, but not before he realizes that he is responsible for Anna's death as much as Edward. And the bombs. Disapproval of Anna and Edward's relationship is what drove her away, leading to her untimely death. He takes an opportunity to forgive Edward before he dies. Yang, the more I think of him, the more I think he's like the control group. Neutral. There's a moment where, after the Leviathan attacks, he loses himself and attacks the party, but he's quickly set straight, which you could argue is his redemption arc, but overall there's no glaring negatives that he does. He's humble, loyal, and confident in his direction. He does everything to help the party's greater cause, up to and after his sacrifice. The man's a saint. He returns to his kingdom to rule. Edge could be considered the opposite of Yang. Yin, maybe? He turns away from his own kingdom to avenge his parents, captured in an attack by Rubicante, and turns away when his people need him most, full of rage. He's forced to fight his transformed parents until they destroy themselves in a moment of clarity. After befriending our party, his emotional instability finally reaches temperament, and he too returns to his kingdom to rule. This was the start of narrative storytelling and thematic exploration in the series. It takes a more character-driven approach, giving us real characters with separate motivations and dynamic relationships throughout.
Oh my god! Jesus Christ!
It scared me so much! The script adjustments don't alter the story, but enriches it. The pixel art is beautifully faithful, and the classes and mechanics appropriately tweaked and balanced. The only issue I had was the music. It wasn't as punchy, and sometimes even distasteful. But that's because I have such fond memories from before. I know I memed a bit, but this game is special to me. I'll always return to play it every year, and I'll continue to be surprised every time Kane betrays us.
For you!
I used to think it was a story of identity, or family, but these themes are only loosely touched on, whereas it's more widely supported that every character seems to have individual paths to correct their flaws. Redemption in the eyes of the party, the people, themselves. This century is when Final Fantasy became great. It's my defining experience for what I've come to expect from the series, mechanically and narratively. So if you haven't played this entry and experienced this story, then you're a fake fan. But luckily for you, and like all the characters here, you too have a chance to make amends.